I fucking love when you act Hollywood. You're something else, Christian.
I'm not trying to act Hollywood. I just listen, Lou. We're talking about something that we're gonna narrate this motherfucker. So let's just narrate it and continue with our lives.
I'm just saying, but I'm calling you, and what I see is Scott's tissue on the fucking table. What have you been doing while we've been away, Chris? You been
Well,
hustling?
Louis, this thing has been going on, and what was that?
No, no, I'm listening to you.
No, this thing has been going on, and I see that the like I said, the panic creates chaos, and I see people. I'm trying to break down how does the paper toilet factor in this coronavirus crisis.
Well,
It sounds a little bit ridiculous to me.
you know what? You're absolutely right. That's a good question. I want to know how that started. But the only logical explanation is that folks are following suit and they see people running, so they're running right behind them. But when you think about it, yeah, you're supposed to be locked up in your apartment, for God knows how long, and you're obviously going to be probably eating more, using the restroom more, all at home. So people want to be prepared. But you're right, though. I think it's a little overkill, though, to buy out the store. I think, come on.
It's just ridiculous to me. So I just so this is why I have this toilet paper thing here going, and as we go on, I will explain. I have a little DIY thing. I want to help, to help the public.
Yo, Chris, you are an angel. You know that, right? You're a true angel.
Yeah, listen, look.
I didn't say dark, though. I didn't say if you were a dark angel, but you were.
No. There's no need to specify, because we all know what type of angel I am. I'm one of those. I'm one of those angels that brings light into the world. And I know this. I know my purpose in life.
Got you. It's good that you know that. But
no, of course.
Well, to our listeners that haven't heard from us in a couple of days or so, I want to say this is a coronavirus special, and
COVID-19 special.
COVID-19 special, and keep in mind, though, we do understand the seriousness of the circumstances that we're in. People are losing their lives. It is a serious situation. And with that being said, me and Chris, even though we try to keep things light, in all seriousness, please practice good hygiene. Make sure you're washing your hands. And make sure that, if you're not feeling well, that you put yourself in self-quarantine and don't expose others that could get infected by the virus. And, and ultimately, if you could afford to stay home, by all means, please. That's probably your best defense, is just to stay away from people. Practice social distance, which is about 6 feet. And but the best course of action is staying home and practicing good hygiene. Chris, go ahead. Sorry.
I heard something that's it's a great way to take this on, and it was something along the lines of act like you have the virus.
That's probably not bad advice at all, because
the virus. If you don't have to go out, do not go out. Self-containment. We're not saying this is going to cure, but it'll slow it down. Give it time for the professionals, for the experts, for these infectious disease experts to try to get a vaccine for it. Because right now, older people with weaker immune system, so just because you're nice and healthy and you'll survive the COVID-19, it doesn't mean you should be irresponsible and be out there and transmit it to people that have a weaker immune system.
Absolutely. Hey, Chris, are you tuned up there?
I'm always tuned up. But before we get started, I think our followers, our public, our people need to know something, because I don't like to feel like I'm defrauding them. That's not the type of person that I am. So to our listeners, our viewers, our subscribers, if you find yourself like you feel like you're in the Matrix, if you find yourself like you're looking at, you remember those kung fu movies back in the day, Saturday mornings. Um, uh, don't get all crazy. You're not hallucinating. Is that this COVID-19 has affected everybody, and along with that, it has affected Lou's ability to be to use the equipment for the podcast. So basically, what we're basically doing now, we're narrating this episode, which was a great episode, and you'll see why. And if you could just see that I might be talking, but my lips, you might hear sound, but my lips are not moving, like the old kung fu movies. Because that's the explanation for that. And I found it. I think our people, our subscribers, needed to know.
It's a throwback black and white with narration. Oh! Welcome back to Breeze Shooters. Like Chris said, this is COVID-19 episode special. I'm your host, Lou, joined by my very good friend, Chris.
Yes, sir.
And we're the show that brings you news, sports, poker, and everything in between. And as Chris mentioned earlier, with this whole pandemic thing going on, it's kind of thrown us a loop. But the good thing is that some new technology is being discovered. Me and Chris are, messing around. we're dib-dabbing. Trust me, guys. Like I told you from the first episode, this is a journey, and we're gonna by the end of this journey, you're gonna appreciate the growth of the podcast.
But you're gonna see, right now, you saw how the baby was conceived. You were with us through the whole 9-month process, and then you see the baby actually being born and being raised. So for our subscribers, what is it? You should feel. What's the word I'm looking? You should feel honored.
Proud.
You should feel honored.
Yeah,
that you started with this process when in the inseminating stages of it.
Oh wow, that's a visual. But no, truthfully though, so to lift the curtain on what happened, me and Chris, we recorded three. We recorded about three, right, Chris? Three.
Yeah, we 3 or 4.
Three or four short episodes, and every time we're going through it, for some reason we can't get the audio to go. So then finally on this last one here, it was a really good episode, very good content, very funny. I said, Chris, I don't care. We're going to have to just narrate it or reenact it or do something, but this one's going to get published. So with that being said, so you guys home, so you can understand what's going on. Chris is actually looking at the video real time, and he's gonna jump in from time to time because there's certain things that he needs to speak to because he's actually performing something and it's actually funny. And I have to give Chris props. It was very creative what he did. It's some shit that I never thought of, but it's a good survival tool. And who knew Chris would be fucking MacGyver? But on this episode, he is.
Listen, those 17 days, the 17 days in El Yunque, the beautiful rainforest in Puerto Rico, they served me well. And you get to appreciate nature, and you get to appreciate how to make do with what you got.
Yeah. So Chris, staying in tune with the COVID-19. So 5 myths that I saw pop up on my stream.
Inform the people, please.
First myth is that you could get the virus by buying products from China. That is false. You will not get the virus by buying products from China. Second myth is if you wear a surgical mask, it will protect you. That is not true. The only mask that will help you during these times is the N95 respirator mask that you would use. But those surgical masks, they're not airtight. Things could get in through the side, and I want to say there's a short life on those too. Once you wear them, they only contain what you have going on, but it doesn't stop stuff from the outside from coming in. And help me here, Chris. I'm drawing a blank. There was another myth that.
Fucking kindergarten shit.
So, Chris, what's going on? What do you think? What's the reason? Why is everybody buying toilet tissue?
Honestly, I'm a little bit perturbed right now because of some.
Perturbed. Okay.
I think it's panic creates chaos, man, and these people are panicking. I think the news media, is creating a panic when they should be, I'm not saying taking this lightly. I cannot stress this enough. Don't take this lightly. This is a serious situation we're in. But the media creating panic and the majority of people feeding into that panic leads them to do stupid shit like they're doing.
I got you.
And basically, that's what's going on. Who decides to buy so much toilet paper? Really? Like, it don't make no motherfucking sense to me.
Chris, you saw that situation where that couple bought 17,500 of fucking hand sanitizer
I
wipes.
hope they find a cure tomorrow, and this is me being an asshole. I hope they find a cure tomorrow, Louis, so these motherfuckers will take those fucking 17,000 plus dollars worth of Lysol wipes, Lysol, Purell, and shove it straight up where the sun don't shine, man. I really hope tomorrow, not for humanity. I'm being an asshole right now. I hope they find a cure, not for humanity, but they find a cure to fuck these two greedy motherfuckers.
Wow, that's a strong take, brother.
Hey, listen, this is what it is, man. Take it or leave it. I'm here for the long run, man. I'm not here to fuck around with nobody.
Wow.
I've been locked out for 5 days. I got a lot of pent-up aggression.
Yeah. Hey, listen, man.
Help the current situation with this toilet paper things, and so I've done a little DIY.
Do it yourself.
So you could do some homemade toilet paper.
Get the fuck out of here.
Now all you're gonna need for this DIY, I keep saying DIY.
Just say do it yourself, man. Do it yourself tutorial.
No, but I like to do the letters because I sound more professional. That's how I saw it on the home shopping network. So you're gonna need a container, one of these plastic containers, whatever.
The Tupperware? Yep.
Yeah, the Tupperware. You're gonna need a purple concoction of fragrance, which we call Fabuloso.
Uh-oh.
And like I told you, we're gonna need essential water because we need that pH to be balanced when you wipe your ass.
Ooh, so you want a negative 9.5?
Yeah, that's what we're looking for. We need to keep that pH balance, ready to go. So you dump the water in the container, and then you grab the loose leaf paper.
Mm-hmm.
I threw myself off here. This is gonna be a nice. Oh, there we go. All right, because I threw myself off because you question the production, how the production has changed, and it threw me off a little bit. But basically, you put the water in the container, then you put the loose leaf, and you give it a couple of dabs, and you leave it there, and then you take the Fabuloso, and you take a quarter cap of it, because you gotta be careful. I don't want to bleach nobody's ass. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
So you take a quarter cap, not cup, a quarter cap. You drizzle it around. You make sure it's in there, it's mixed. Then what you do is you shake it, and basically you cover it up, and you're gonna leave this for about. You don't have to do one sheet at a time. So normally I like to. My experiment went. I did about 17 sheets. For 32 minutes, you cover them, and then you leave them covered for 32 minutes, and you let all those things work their magic.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, you let them work their magic, and
let me ask you, where you tried this first? In prison?
I've never been in prison, Louis.
I'm sorry, a maximum holding cell?
You know what's funny? What happened just now in the video, it like dropped. So it must have been one of those times that it dropped.
Okay.
So basically, I'm trying to ignore your comment of me being incarcerated, because I believe when you pay, we're not perfect and we're allowed to make mistakes.
As long as you pay your debt to society,
and
right?
you pay your debt to society, then that shouldn't come up ever again. So after 32 minutes,
go ahead, I'm listening to you. After 32 minutes.
After the 32 minutes, you come up with this beautiful sheet of paper with a beautiful fragrance. I know you pointed out it looks kind of thin.
Yeah, it does. It does look thin, Chris. I mean, my concern is that once you wipe, it's going to penetrate through that. You said to double up though, right? Like you would normally do.
Double up, and accidents happen. So just wash your hands.
Oh, okay.
If you get shit on your hands, wash your hands.
Like Chris, like I told you before, I'm amazed. I'm amazed, and it's good to know this because you never know when you're gonna be in a pinch, and you just got to be a little creative. My thing is just though the whole Fabuloso thing, like what Chris said though, you do have to be very very frugal with that. You don't want to be too free with that because we don't know if that could affect you.
This is not FDA approved. I'm not saying this is do this at your own risk.
Absolutely, absolutely. But Chris does, give you an option, a survival mode option if you had to go that way. If you're
Bear Grylls, motherfuckers.
Yo, Chris, I'm gonna send this video over to Scott's Tissue and be like, watch your ass. Watch your ass. Chris is right there. Chris is right on your ass. You better watch it. Or even Fabuloso. I'm gonna send the video to Fabuloso.
Yeah, I'm gonna ad-lib a little bit here. Bear with me, but I think I gotta play this because it goes well with this debacle of episodes that we have concocted here.
Oh man, Chris, you know what I? Woo!
This narrating thing, I like it because I look good. I'm looking at myself at the video. I actually look good. Like I could be on a TV show, Lou.
Well, listen, I don't want to cut you off, but I hate the fact that I leave and the production goes up. You have fucking cameras, you got all type of fucking gadgets on the table. I'm gonna have a talk with somebody because I think you're well, you say you're messing around. You're doing something that I'm not aware of.
Well, let me save you some heartache, Lou, or some embarrassment. I don't advise you to talk to anybody because what's going to be told to you, I don't believe you're going to like it. But I'll keep it as simple as possible.
Motherfucker, I knew it.
When the house is burning you're gonna take out, the most important assets that you have in the house, so you could build up.
Oh, really?
That's the way it is. That's the way it is. So, the simplest way I can tell you this is, I'm that valuable asset.
Wow.
So the production team wants to keep me nice and comfortable and and happy.
Chris, but I am the production team, Chris.
I'm not saying they don't want to keep you.
Thank you for joining us to another episode of Breed Shooters. Again, stay safe out there, practice good hygiene, keep your social distance, and let's beat this virus. And as always, the best compliment you could pay me and Chris is to refer us to a friend and subscribing. Stay tuned. We do have an exclusive interview with an ex-NBA player and ex-Brooklyn Nets basketball coach coming up soon. Look out for that. Peace.